The legendary Korean actress Kim Soo Mi has left us, and the revelation of her cause of death is one of the most shocking I've ever encountered. At 75 years old, Kim suffered a hyperglycemic shock, an extreme collapse caused by high blood sugar levels, soaring over 500, a critical situation for anyone's health. But what makes this even more tragic is the reason behind it: unbearable stress due to unpaid wages from her participation in the musical My Mother's Home, where she performed for an impressive 14 years. Kim Soo Mi was more than an actress. She was an icon, a symbol of Korean theater and television. Since her debut in the 70s, her career has been marked by roles of immense popularity, such as in the drama The Country Diary, which established her as one of the most recognized faces in Korea. She also starred in productions like Hello, Francesca, and various variety shows, amassing a huge fan base that followed her every new project. Her contribution to the industry was immense, and even at 75, Kim remained active. This only deepened the shock caused by her sudden departure, something hard to accept for everyone who knew and admired her. The situation worsens when understanding that, besides her advanced age, Kim faced daily stress due to delays in her payments. According to Jung Myung-ho, Sumi's son, she had been struggling with deep, exhausting anxiety because of these unpaid wages. Incredibly, she hadn't been paid since last year. For many, it's almost unimaginable that a figure as famous as Kim would face financial troubles, but this is not uncommon in Korea. Many artists, despite their careers and fame, encounter financial difficulties when they can't secure advertising contracts with major brands. Appearances in dramas, plays, and movies alone are rarely enough to ensure financial stability, especially for actors from past generations, who are often less sought after for endorsements. Typically, our favorite actors are at the peak of their careers, earning high sums per episode in each series they join, but it's important to understand that they represent only a small segment of those involved in the Korean acting world. The vast majority do not earn enough or make just enough to survive for a month or two, making it impossible to endure significant salary delays. Financial issues among Korean actors and actresses are not uncommon. For example, actor Park Bo-gum reportedly faced a debt of around $600,000. Another example is actor Ji Seung-hyun, whose story well illustrates these hardships. Active in acting since 2009, Seung-hyun became a familiar figure among K-drama fans, especially after his role in the acclaimed Descendants of the Sun. However, the reality of his salary was surprisingly modest. During a YouTube variety show, Seung-hyun made a rather shocking revelation. Despite having acted in a successful film like Wish and being recognized in dramas, he was far from earning well. He shared that, at the height of Descendants of the Sun, his acting earnings for that year amounted to about $3,000. In fact, he had to work at his cousin's restaurant to support himself, even during that period. This means that if he relied solely on acting to make a living, he would already be dead. We tend to think that all actors who appear, at least in highly successful dramas, are well off, but he was getting by on an amount even an office worker would consider insufficient. The situation was so challenging that he and his wife even considered opening a Korean snack bar to make ends meet. They ultimately gave up on that idea when he received the offer to act in Descendants of the Sun, hoping that project would finally be a turning point. However, while his recognition grew, this didn't translate into greater financial gains. When Jung-hyun's son was born, he needed financial help from both his parents and his mother-in-law to support him. Fortunately, he shared that in recent years, he's been able to significantly increase his earnings, allowing him to live more comfortably, even letting his mother-in-law use his card to repay her. He also reflected on how unstable the entertainment industry is. Despite his love for acting, Seung-hyun mentioned that, for example, he wouldn't recommend this career to his children because he knows that, in practice, hard work and talent don't always guarantee success or stability. Returning to the case of actress Kim Soo Mi, the musical My Mother's Home, in which Kim Soo Mi performed for over a decade, was one of her most beloved works, but also brought immense frustration. This musical was involved in a legal dispute due to accusations of plagiarism, and this lawsuit reportedly drained the production's resources, impacting the payments for both actors and crew. Kim Soo Mi, who always dedicated herself wholeheartedly to her work, was even preparing to take legal action against the production company to receive what she was owed. All this strain and uncertainty placed her under intense, constant stress, which severely affected her health. As her son explained, this type of continuous stress is devastating for anyone, and for an elderly person, it can be deadly. This scenario of emotional exhaustion is something that, unfortunately, many Korean actors face. But this wasn't the first time the public noticed signs of strain in Kim Soo Mi. In May of this year, she was hospitalized due to extreme fatigue. Admitted to Hanyang University Hospital in Seoul, her condition worried fans, as she had to temporarily halt her professional activities. Kim was a strong woman known for her her dedication, and although her health already showed signs of fragility, she continued working frequently. After recovering, she returned to her intense schedule of commitments, against medical advice to slow down and reduce her pace. In one of her last appearances on a home shopping channel, fans noticed that her voice sounded noticeably weaker and worn out. For many, this was a clear sign that something was wrong, yet the passion and commitment Kim always had for her career kept her active, high cost to her health. This unwavering dedication is something that, unfortunately, many Korean artists share, often ignoring signs of physical and mental exhaustion for fear of losing ground in the highly competitive industry. On October 25th, the news of Kim Soo Mi's passing spread rapidly, shocking the entire country. She was taken to St. Mary's Hospital in Seoul in cardiac arrest, but did not survive. This event deeply shook her fans and colleagues, who were even more bewildered upon learning the details behind her death. How could such a respected and beloved actress climb through so much stress and neglect without proper support from the industry? This question resonated throughout the country. The revelation that stress from unpaid wages could have contributed to her death sparked a wave of outrage and discussions about how artists' mental and physical health is treated. Kim Soo Mi's death highlights a recurring issue for many Korean artists: fair pay and financial stability. While major stars secure advertising contracts and are well paid, lesser-known actors or veterans like Kim Soo Mi often face a market that fails to value them fairly. This problem goes beyond Kim and her individual struggle. It's a reality for many. The lack of financial stability among veteran actors can force them to rely on temporary contracts and small roles, leading to exhaustion and increasing pressure. Despite decades of work, many veterans face financial hardships just to maintain their daily lives. What we see with Kim Soo Mi's death reflects the flaws in valuing artists who dedicate their lives to the craft. Her story makes us question, to what extent are recognition and success enough when the actors themselves face situations of uncertainty and lack of support? Kim Soo Mi leaves behind a legacy that goes far beyond her performances. She was one of the great figures in Korean television and theater, capturing the hearts of multiple generations. Her departure reminds us of the impact that stress and working conditions can have, even on highly successful figures. Throughout her career, Kim inspired young actors and contributed immeasurably to Korean culture. The outrage and grief of fans are understandable, as she leaves behind an example of professionalism, passion, and dedication, but also a reflection on the importance of emotional health care and fair recognition that every artist deserves. The loss of Kim Soo Mi raises important questions for the entertainment industry. May this sad loss lead us to reflect on the value of artists' work and the need to create an environment of support and respect. And if you've made it this far in the video, please help us out. Our goal for the channel is to reach 10,000 subscribers. Can you help us out? It's quick, just subscribe down below. Oh, and don't forget to like the video, okay? That way YouTube knows the content is good and recommends it to more people. Let's get back to the video. What do you think about this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. On your screen, there's a video covering the financial hardships that Korean actors and actresses have to endure. Click and watch. I'll see you there.